What do you make of RFK and vaccines and what he's saying about it and the position he's been given in this incoming administration?
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines. And, people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not.
So if you are trying to, get at me as a public health official and a scientist, you're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science. You have to be asleep not to see that. That is what's going on. Science and the truth are being attacked.
You wrote a book harshly criticizing Anthony Fauci.
His COVID programs, and I think that the harm that he did vastly outweighed the benefits. In that book, which is, I think, 250,000 words, I never try to look inside of his head. I deal with facts. I deal with science. Every factual assertion in that book is cited and sourced to government databases or peer-reviewed publications. I try not to speculate about things that I don't know about or I can't prove, and I cannot tell you what his motivations were. He's done a lot of things that I think are really very, very bad things for humanity, very deceptive. I think he was a genuinely bad human being. Listening to this, probably hearing me say that will think that I'm bitter or that I'm doctrinaire about him. But, you should really go and read my book. It's hard to summarize I tried to be really methodical, to not call names, to just say what happened. But the DTP vaccine was discontinued in this country and it was discontinued in Europe because so many kids were being injured by it. However, the WHO and Bill Gates gives it to 161 million African children every year. Bill Gates went to the Danish government and asked them to support this program, saying, we've saved 30 million kids from dying from diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. The Danish government said, can you show us the data? And he couldn't. So the Danish government paid for a big study with Novo Nordisk in West Africa. And they went to West Africa and they looked at the DTP vaccine and they looked at 30 years of data for the DTP vaccine, and they came back and they were shocked by what they found. They found that the vaccine was preventing kids from getting diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. But the girls who got that vaccine were 10 times more likely to die over the next 6 months than children who didn't. Why is that? And they weren't dying from anything anybody ever associated with the vaccine. They were dying of anemia, bilharzia, malaria, sepsis, and mainly pulmonary and respiratory disease, pneumonia. And it turns out, this is what the researchers found, who were all pro-vaccine, by the way. They said that this vaccine is killing more children than diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis prior to the introduction of the vaccine. And for 30 years, nobody ever noticed it. The vaccine was providing protection against those target illnesses, but it had ruined the children's immune systems, and they could not defend themselves against random infections that were harmless to most children.
In this year's annual letter, Melinda and I take the toughest questions we get asked and give our answers. One that's come up for a long time is, as we make the world healthier, is the population going to get so big that feeding everybody and maintaining the environment is going to be impossible? Here we can see a chart that looks at the total world population over the last several hundred years. And at first glance, this is a bit scary. So Melinda and I wondered whether providing new medicines and keeping children alive, would that create more of a population problem? What we found out is that as health improves, families choose to have less children. And this effect is very, very dramatic. We find that in every country of the world, this is repeated. The population growth goes down as we improve health. So we've taken that chart that shows the global population growth, and we've actually extended it out all the way to 2100. And we can see that instead of continuing, it actually flattens out. Now, 11 billion people, still a lot, but the good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down. And so we can feel great about saving those lives.
It's great the Saudi Arabia and the other countries in this region are helping with our dialogue with Pakistan, Afghanistan, how we execute and get the vaccines out to all those kids. So we need to get this one done. It'll be a monumental event. Once we succeed, we'll go on to go after other diseases like measles and malaria, which are also quite horrific. Measles and malaria, which are also quite horrific.